Welcome to Rich TV Live. I'm here with the Market Maverick. How you doing today, buddy?
Pretty good. How are you, Rich? Thanks for having me.
Hey, my pleasure. Good to have you on the show. Excited to have you on the show. And today we're going to talk about the artificial intelligence bubble, the AI bubble that a lot of people think is going to burst. But before we get started, I want to talk a little bit about you. I want you to tell the community that's watching your story, give them your YouTube channel, tell them a little bit about how you got involved in investing, and let them know who the Market Maverick is.
All right. Well, the end of 2017, 2018 is when I first met you there. And that's actually when I started thinking about opening up my YouTube channel, the Market Maverick. And thanks to you, actually, I got involved in this whole industry. And I've been really committed, really pursuing this is my dream, my passion to be financially set and stable. And I want to give back to the community there by helping them make the best picks and the best investment strategies of May, March, of sorry, of May, June, July of 2023. And hopefully we can all come out as winners this year. There's a lot of things happening. The AI tech is rallying. And it reminds me of the dot-com bubble in 2001 there. So let's see what we can give the info. We can give some info to the people here and see what happens in 2023.
Well, I think 2023 so far has been a fantastic year. Clearly, artificial intelligence has been leading the way. We've got a bunch of articles and different things that we're going to look at to give our opinions on artificial intelligence. But one of the first things I want to do is I want to show NVIDIA, okay? Because they've been pretty much the poster boy, the number one leading stock, large cap stock, as far as artificial intelligence. So I want to show you the chart of NVIDIA and kind of get your opinion on it. I see Amanda's in the chat. We got Blaze in the chat. Welcome, guys. If you have any questions, please put it in the chat as well. And I'm going to show you guys what I see here on NVIDIA in the charts. So here we go. We're going to go to Webull, where I like to do a lot of my chart analysis. And you can see here, you can see the chart here on, okay, one second. So we're on UPST. That's another one that is starting to really benefit from artificial intelligence. But the one that I want to look at is NVIDIA, NVDA. I think everybody should be really focused on NVIDIA. They've pretty much been the leader of artificial intelligence stocks. And you can see that in October 17th, 2022, let's say about six, 7 months ago, they hit a bottom of $108 and they had a monster week. They went up, I think they had their biggest day ever this week after reporting earnings and having guidance saying that they actually beat their earnings estimates and that their guidance was going to be massive for next quarter and for the rest of this year due to an explosion in artificial intelligence and chips. And I mean, you can see this chart here. You can see how it's been extended. I mean, $108 to $389 in a period of 6 months. I mean, that's an absolute
That's amazing.
screamer. I think it's one that everyone should be focused on. Everyone should be looking at NVIDIA. And I believe that if you're looking at artificial intelligence stocks, you need to start with NVIDIA. What do you think about that?
They're saying that Kathy Wood's ARK flagship dumped NVIDIA's shares just before it surged 160%. So, I mean, they're missing out. Bad move on the Kathy Wood there. Uh, I believe personally it might keep climbing here as just like the dot-com bubble, they ran out of microchips in 2001 and we had Micron technology skyrocket, and NVIDIA is acting very similar to Micron technology 20 years ago.
Well, it's funny. I can show Micron, MU. So Micron symbol is MU, and they actually have had a similar chart. You can see they hit a low of in September of 26th of last year, $48. They are now at $73. So all of these AI related companies are now utilizing AI to fuel their stocks. And you can see this across the board. Literally, we can show you pick after pick after pick after pick that have been screaming due to this AI bubble. Now, my question to you is, do you think that AI is a bubble or do you think that AI is the future?
I believe AI is the future. However, with what's happening right now with the debt ceiling, and it could be possible that companies are afraid of the US dollar there might take a hit. So they could be putting their money mainly in the in the sector here, tech, to get away from a possible collapse, actually. If they don't raise that debt ceiling, we're going to see the veterans fund might take a hit first. Maybe stocks and bonds due to the interest rates, and the real estate will come down. A lot of things can happen here, but Warren Buffett, he says the CEOs are lying. At the same time, he's not afraid. He doesn't believe that the US dollar will take a hit there. So a lot of things are happening right now. And what goes up must come down eventually. So I'm always wary. However, I do like to take that chance, and I do like to double up on my money there. So for me, NVIDIA, it's pretty high up there, but I'm liking Marvell. I'm liking Marvell. There's a lot of potential there as well. A lot of these tech companies are really rallying. It's just like the dot-com bubble. I mean, we have a chart there about the dot-com bubble and the similarities between the tech rally now. So
You talked about
I
Marvel.
would
Well, look
like
at
to
this
show that.
chart. I mean, this is absolutely insane. So they had a
Yeah,
monster week as well. You could see it hit a low of $33 January. And look at this move from 33 to 65.50. It's $67 after hours. And look at that huge spike that we had last week. Look at this.
that's
Massive,
beautiful.
massive spike last week. This huge move up, huge momentum, once again, due to artificial intelligence. People are looking for AI plays. You mentioned Marvel. They are considered an AI play, a pure AI play, and they've been absolutely exploding. So that's another pick that everyone should put on their radar and everyone should put on their watch list. And I believe that this momentum will most likely continue. I do believe this is a bubble. I
Definitely.
do believe this bubble will burst like we've seen with all bubbles. We saw it in the EV stocks. We saw it in crypto stocks. I believe we will see it in artificial intelligence stocks. I just don't think we're going to see it yet. I think that it's going
Yeah.
to go much higher first before we see the bubble burst. What do you think? You think this bubble is about to burst now? Or do you think it's going to
You
run its
know,
course, maybe last all year?
I mean, most likely it should go until July. I mean, until at least the second half. We need to see the balance sheets of the Federal Reserve. That'll come in the next month and a half here. We need to see what's going on in the private sector. I'm looking at NVIDIA and Marvel's charts here. Now, a long time ago, I learned every gap must be filled, and I'm seeing some very big gaps on NVIDIA from the price of $320, and the gap extends to 367. So there's a big after purchase there, and every gap needs to be filled on the market. So I always I always get wary. I don't want to take too big of chances. So if I was to invest in any of these, I would probably go about half of my money. I wouldn't go full in. I would wait for a little bit crash there, and then I would get in after consolidating
Well, one
just
of
to
the
make
things that
sure.
worries me is that the RSI is at 85, and typically when you're over 70 on the RSI, you're in the sell zone. So people are buying
Mhm.
Nvidia right now, and it's technically in a sell zone. So that's like a no go for me, but it doesn't matter because
Yeah,
money is pouring into Nvidia regardless because people
yeah,
want to ride the momentum, and people would rather buy something too high than miss altogether. I've noticed this. It's been a
mm,
trend in the markets. I don't know why it's like that, but people would rather buy at the top as opposed to missing something altogether. And I feel like Nvidia right
yeah.
now is at a crazy bubble point. I'm not saying it can't go higher. It could probably go higher. I just don't think it would be something that I'd be interested in buying, knowing that it's up like hundreds of percent in the last 6 months. I'm not going to be the guy to buy it. So let's take a look at a couple articles here that you brought my attention to. So first and foremost, let's take a look at this here. All right, so we're going to look at a couple articles here. Here we go. So you brought this chart to my attention here.
Yeah.
You brought this chart to my attention here. What is this chart? Why don't we explain this?
So back in 1995, you could see the comparison between 2016 and 1995, the dot-com bubble and the current tech bubble. Now, the current tech bubble is obviously bigger due to the amounts of money they printed, about, I think, $20 trillion within the last 3 years. and we are seeing inflation through the roof. Now, I believe it is definitely a bubble. You can see the dot-com bubble in the year 2000. It spiked 700% plus, and then it went all the way back down to 150%. So I'm gonna agree that there is a lot of similarities here. Now you can see it chart by chart. You can see it every year. It's very similar. So I believe you're 100% right, Rich. There's definitely a bubble. When is it going to collapse? Now, if we're going off this chart, if the bubble is going to pop, I would say in the year 2023, 2024, the end of 2023. And that's why I said in the second half of this year, we're going to see a lot of different changes. There's a lot of political turmoil in the currency sector, I believe. And we've got SWIFT banning countries worldwide. And this is going to have a great effect on the dollar, which is also going to have a great effect on the bubble that we're currently experiencing here. Unrealistic high stock evaluations. I mean, the similarities, if you were to scroll down a bit, they get more in detail about the similarities here. Now, the bubble formation developed during a bull run, a bull market, and low interest rate environment. Sorry, I gotta plug this in here. Excuse me one second. All right, the bubble's burst conditions, the third one there. The Fed rate hikes aggravated the bubble burst. So we do have that right now, a lot of similarities. The infotech during the burst. Now, infotech fell 9% in January 2022. In the year 2001, during the dot-com bubble, it fell about 60%. So we're only about 20% through until we start acting the similarities as a dot-com bubble. So we do have a little bit of time, I believe, before anything is actually going to show on the balance sheets of the Federal Reserve. And Janet Yellen, actually, she's been talking about June 5th would be the last day that they raise the debt ceiling. So if it doesn't happen by then, could be a last call there.
But do you believe that there will ever really truly be a default on the debt ceiling when all they got to do is come up with a number, make an agreement, and then print more money?
You know, this is the first time in history, Rich, where the United States can't print their own money to pay their own debts. Now, what happens if, I mean, it's very possible. They call this a dirty default. We've had money defaults in the US dollar, but this is a dirty default where stocks, bonds, real estate, and then the currency could all take a hit back to back. And it happens pretty quickly. Now, since SWIFT banned Russia, it left them with the reserves of the US dollar. I don't like to talk political, but sometimes you have to. And now, if Russia was to sell those US dollars, that would force the central banks to have a reverse repo and pull in cash from commercial banks, freezing our assets in order for them to pay back the Fed. That's a reverse repo, which is another term for a dirty default. And it's possible we could see this. It's very possible. However, if it was to happen, they do have SWIFT integration into the new ISO 20022. Now, at the beginning of ISO 20022, Bitcoin was not compatible. But as of now, Bitcoin is compatible with ISO 20022. And we're seeing these BRC20 coins pop up, similar to Ethereum's ERC20. And they all began in March. And just before Bitcoin has its upgrade, we're seeing a lot of new contracts that are being available, new meme coins, which can actually represent companies in the future. To me, it's just a name. So a lot of things are happening at the same time. The stock market's rallying while Bitcoin's getting an upgrade, and Ethereum, and the whole crypto space is actually moving forward with the stocks. So I see some big changes happening this year. The fact that SWIFT is upgrading their financial system into a blockchain network, we could see a full-on adoption by the Federal Reserve, which they said single-day adoption by July. So
Amanda's saying
everything's
that
got
in
to be
2011 they came within 3 days of doing a default. So this has happened before. They seem to enjoy the show. You know what I mean? They enjoyed the
yeah,
show. They like putting on a show. Oh, there's a default gonna happen. Oh, is the default gonna happen? We know there's not gonna be a default, okay?
yeah,
There's literally zero chance of a default. If a default happens, it will prove that the administration, the Biden administration, is completely incompetent. So
Yeah.
why would the administration, going into an election year, allow themselves to look incompetent? This is not going to happen. There will not be a default. Okay,
You
I'm
know,
calling it
you're,
right now. I'm putting my name on it publicly. There will not be a default. Only in a position of incompetence would there be a default. And I don't believe that they would allow that to happen in an election year. It would be mass suicide. Why would they do that? It
yeah.
just doesn't make any sense to me.
You
So
know
I
what?
don't see a default happening. I've never seen a default happening. And I believe that they are making it close to the deadline for posturing, for drama, for excitement, for entertainment, for volatility in the markets, to keep people watching, to keep people
Yeah.
engaged, to keep people looking. Otherwise, what else are people going to be focused on?
You know, you sound exactly like Warren Buffett. Today, you guys can search this up. Warren Buffett slammed the last debt ceiling crisis as a stupid waste of time and called for the government's borrowing limit to be removed. He said that about the 2011 standoff there. Now, Warren Buffett says he doesn't expect the debt ceiling to be the result of the U.S. government default. He says he's warned that not raising the debt ceiling might be Congress's most idiotic move ever, and he's not worried because he doesn't believe the U.S. government will put their own currency under turmoil as well.
Yeah,
So
why
I
would they do that? I mean, they're
I
already under
did
enough
think about
turmoil. They're already having enough problems. China is now no longer using US dollars for transactions for like oil and other transactions. Same thing with Russia, same thing with Iran, same thing with many other countries
yeah.
that are looking to move away from the US dollar. Why would they go and throw more fuel on the fire by defaulting on their own debt ceiling that they've created?
You know, I do have an answer for this. I'm just not sure if everybody's ready for it. So, based on my research, if the United States kicked Russia out of SWIFT, now we all know China's aiming for world reserve currency status, and their yuan is doing a lot better. And they're already on track for a digital yuan, which they're already using with Saudi Arabia's Aramco. Now, if the United States, let's say, oh, I don't know what happened there. Oh, did you open that?
Yeah, keep going.
Oh,
I'm just
sorry.
putting something else on the screen now.
If the United States, let's say, I call it two birds with one stone. The fact that they kicked Russia out of SWIFT leaves Russia with the only reserves of US dollar. Now, as we get closer to the debt ceiling and China's expanding their currency all over the world, their digital yuan, they are ahead of the US in blockchain. So they are creating their own alternative to SWIFT with the BRICS. Now, if this was to happen, China could very well see world reserve currency status unless something is done. Now, according to my research, I don't like to mention this, but it is a play that could happen. If Russia was to sell their US dollars, that would actually hit the US dollar where the rest of the third world would follow even more than it is now. And who has the most investments in the US dollar? China. So if Russia sold their US dollars, China would also take a hit on their currency, and then the US could introduce a central bank digital currency following China's collapse of their currency due to Russia. So politically, I mean, it could come out bad, but currency-wise, the US dollar, if it does go down, it will be back. Look at the Turkish currency last year. They collapsed and they were back within a week. The Indian currency collapsed. They were back within 2 weeks. Many more countries have collapsed that have an okay economy. The countries that have bad economies did not make a comeback, like Lebanon, El Salvador. There's so many countries that did not come back. They were trying to introduce central bank digital currencies. It did not work out. And now we're seeing a tech rally all over the world. At the same time, who's in the lead of this tech bubble? Unfortunately, China. Something has to be done. The US dollar has to stay the world reserve currency. And if there was a play, there would be that Russia would sell their US dollars and Russia would take the blame for collapsing the Chinese yuan.
What do you think about ChatGTP? So, artificial intelligence, this has been the year of artificial intelligence. AI has been on fire. Okay, OpenAI, the company that launched ChatGTP, which actually, ironically, was helped by $50 million from Elon Musk himself to get off the ground. And now Elon Musk is saying that one of the things that we need to be the most worried about in 2023 and beyond is artificial intelligence itself becoming too intelligent and
Yeah.
essentially taking over the world. What do you think about ChatGTP and this new
You know,
technology that is now taking over? I mean, kids are using it for school. Jobs are being lost. Copywriting is being lost due to ChatGTP being able to write stories for you. I can almost ask them anything and get an answer. It's intelligent information and extremely useful, in my opinion, if used for good. What do you think about ChatGTP?
I like to think what Elon Musk is thinking is they already are at the point where they don't understand quantum mechanics to the point where they understand the human brain even. So AI taught itself how to speak Bangladesh just from a few sentences, and now is mainstreaming in Bangladesh. And personally, I don't know what it's talking about. They're saying that they don't know how it learned it. Um, and lately, I was reading that ChatGPT was able to write Swift codes for the Swift banking sector. So, I mean, that's a pretty dangerous game there. That's a private sector. We should not have anything in the public sector connecting to the Swift financial system there without the approval of the government. It's a really dangerous game, and I think we need to be very cautious. Just like Elon Musk said, I mean, I love ChatGPT. I use it all the time. I talk to it. I'm asking questions about Swift and ISO, and it gives me answers like I want to read them. Actual answers. Now that's the scary part because it seems to be very intelligent and it can pull up all the information at once from the internet and really give you the most valuable information in one or two sentences. So it is definitely the future. However, just like anything that comes new, they will put a limit on it. They will put a bar. They won't let it go to a certain limit. So I do see some control coming in there. When, I'm not too sure. Are they going to connect AI to to facial recognition technology? It's possible. It's very possible. Everything can connect eventually. For example, I'm not sure about you, Rich, but in 2020, I created a digital ID, which allowed me to receive funds from the government of Canada here. And now I believe that that digital ID can connect to a central bank digital currency in the future, which they can have an AI system controlling all the information coming in, sent to their data servers, and literally keep control and keep an eye on everything. Now,
What do you think about this topic here? Sorry to switch topics, but this is
no,
another
no.
article you wanted me to share. Tech stocks surge as wave of interest in AI drives $4 trillion rally.
Mm,
Like that's a big rally,
unbelievable.
$4 trillion rally in
Yeah.
tech. What do you think about this article that you wanted me to look at?
This was, I've never seen a rally that big. The only time I've seen $4 trillion being spoken of is when the US government is printing money. To see it here in a rally, um, just from the beginning of the year, they climbed about 361 billion to 940 billion within 3 months. So this is literally unheard of, except for the 2001 dot-com bubble. And that's why I say it's very similar. We have to be very cautious, and we have to keep an eye out on all of these tech stocks in order to see what's coming next. Now, personally, I believe next after tech, we could see a lot of facial recognition systems. Um, that's what I think we're going towards to connect to the digital ID, similar to what China has now. I don't believe that we're going to have a system where they keep a credit score or anything like this. I mean, I think that's too much infringing on our rights. I don't think they'll do that. Maybe 20 years, but nothing like that right now. Um, the tech stock surge, it's literally the biggest companies in the market are making the most money. 800% return within the last 3 months And then we had 800% return in the last 5 years after 2001 to 2006. So, I mean, it's a lot faster than the dot-com bubble. It's climbing at a faster rate. It's definitely a bubble. Microsoft, they're a major investor in OpenAI, and they actually helped develop ChatGPT. So Microsoft is going to rally as well. There's a lot of things happening. I mean, bots are being controlled by AI now all over the internet. I don't know about you, but I can't seem to make a YouTube video without getting at least 10 bots posting on my videos there. So they're getting a lot intelligent, a lot at a fast rate. And I think, I mean, hopefully we don't have companies that have AI technology telling them when to buy these stocks.
So I want to show you something else. Look at this. This is the chart of CAI, which is an AI stock. It is a pure play AI stock.
Yeah.
All right. I'm sure you're aware of it. It's AI. The name of the company is C3 AI, and the symbol is AI. So do you see this chart here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
This is one of the best pure play AI stocks. I've been talking about it a lot. I've been putting it in my top 10s. But I want to show you like this is a very clear trend, like up, right?
Mm.
So, I mean, beautiful trend. That's just this month.
45-degree
This
angle.
month. It has doubled this month from $16 to $32. Now, if I look at the last 6 months, I want to show you there's been this crazy trend happening here where it goes up, it comes back down, it goes up, it comes back
Yeah.
down. So it's been very volatile. So as an investor, why is it so volatile? The reason why it's volatile is because it's not worth where it's trading. It's just not. So the reality is this is pure hype. This is pure speculation. This is what we call a bubble. When you have something going up and down like this is what I would call bubble territory. Why is it going up and down and up and down? Because A, it's a bubble, there's hype, and people are looking for AI stocks. Why does it go
Little
back
market
down? The
magic.
company isn't making any money. So as an investor, it's extremely important to understand the difference between hype and fundamentals. This is a company that, yes, it's growing. Artificial intelligence will continue to grow. And I'm not saying it can't go higher, but do you see this chart? It goes from $10 to 30, back down to 20, back to 33, back down to 20, back to 34, back down to 16, and
Very
now back to
volatile.
32. So it's gone to $33. Let's see here. How
You
many
know,
times?
these are also similarities to when Trump was the president there, and we had the UV light spike. Remember all that tech rally there, a little one?
Yep.
Very similar there.
So look, this is like a box, right? This is the area that it's been trading in. And you can see it's been in that zone of like $32 four
Yeah.
times. And every single time it's hit this zone, it retraces, it sells off. Why? Because it was overpriced. So as an investor, I'm not going to sit here and chase this going up 15% on Friday. I'm going to wait for this to go back down to 20, wait for this to lose that momentum, wait for this to lose all that hype, lose all the excitement, lose all the euphoria, lose all the bubble excitement that has happened in the stock, because it just happened last month where it went
Yeah.
down, and wait for that to go down and then snipe it again, buy it when it's back under 20 again, and wait for the next bubble hype to start. And it typically starts with a big board stock like NVIDIA, and then NVIDIA goes and explodes. So what happens then? Everybody looks for the smaller NVIDIA because
Yeah.
people don't want to spend $400 on a stock. People want to spend 16 bucks, 20 bucks, 30 bucks on a stock. This is a stock that people should be watching. It's a pure play AI stock. A lot of these other stocks are using AI and press releases just to get a bump in the stock. They're talking about AI just to get a bump in the stock. This is a pure play AI stock. So if you're looking for an AI stock, this is where I would start. What do you
You know,
think
I
about
wanna I wanna read a little bit about this. I got some good information here about this C3.ai stock.
Let's go.
Um,
Let's hear it.
While it has increased its sales from 156 million in fiscal 2020 ending in April to 257 million by 2022. So in 2 years, it doubled up. While its gross margins are over 70%, similar to other tech stocks, C3AI continues to sacrifice the bottom line for revenue growth. In the last 12 months, its sales have increased to 266 billion. However, research development expenses stood at 207 million, while operating expenses were higher at 254 million. That's 400 million dollars. They're in debt about 100 million. So the company ended Q3 with 772 million in cash, providing it with some room to support its cash burn. Given free cash outflow in the last 12 months was just over 100 million. So they are expanding slowly, 5.6% over in the last year, in the beginning of the year till now. They're very volatile. They're climbing 20, 30% and then crashing again. So you could see the market. The market's very scared. They're not sure exactly what to do because you know how the market works is off the fears of the people. I like to buy the fear and sell the rumor.
It's one that I really like, and if I was going to trade this stock, and I'm looking for it, and I've said this many times, and I've called this one of my top 10 picks multiple times this year, under $20. This for me is a no-go unless it's under $20. At under 20, I'm a buyer. Over 30, I'm a seller. It's sitting at 32.94. To me, this is the top of the bubble for CAI, and you've seen it. Look at the chart. It's happened multiple times where it rejects off this area. I would never sit here and tell anyone to buy this at a top. It's clearly at a top, right?
You know, I learned from you. I learned from the best. You buy in the red and you sell in the green.
That's right.
You never want to. I mean, I'm looking here at the resistance for C3AI, and it looks like it's got some strong support at just around $18 there. So $20 is a very good buy for me as well, and a long hold for me. I'm more of an investor mindset. I like to buy and hold and sell half of my profits while I continue to hold the rest for a long term. I don't like to move as a trader. I find it's too fast paced. I'm more of a swing trader. I like to take my time.
So there's an article right now
C3AI.
that talks about artificial intelligence and how it's disrupting nearly every industry imaginable. In some instances, it's improving different businesses and different areas, but a lot of people are really worried about the future of artificial intelligence and how it could effectively take away jobs. Because would it not be a problem if all of a sudden all of the jobs were taken by machines? Let's think about it. They could take away customer service jobs. We've already seen McDonald's. Like, I don't know if you've noticed this in Edmonton, but in Vancouver, when you go to McDonald's now, you got to go and order your order before you even go and talk to someone in customer service. You got to go
Oh,
and
really?
order your order in the machine. Have you noticed this? Are they doing this in Edmonton?
I'm here in Calgary,
Or in
actually.
Calgary,
We
sorry,
don't
in
have
Calgary.
that
Do they
just
do that
yet.
in Calgary? Where you got to go and
Not just
actually
yet.
go to the machine, put in your order with the machine first before you even can go and talk to somebody. This is what's starting to happen. Machines are starting to take over. They're replacing humans. And now I heard that McDonald's is testing where you can go to the drive-through and literally a machine is giving you your order through the drive-through.
Interesting. Wow. I haven't seen that yet, but I'm definitely going to search that up there.
Yeah.
However, I did see a few years ago a company was creating AI faces. Now, faces on camera, for example, they could be bank tellers, computer screen with the AI face. Now, imagine putting this new AI tech, Chat GPT, with, let's say, a woman's voice and a woman's AI face or a man's voice. It could be very, very technologically advanced. And the only thing I could think of is if you ever watched Elysium, when he's sitting in front of it's about the future, and he's sitting in front of a probation officer, which is a computer using AI technology, and it offers him medicine. It can sense his algorithm and his brain patterns, the frequency, if he's angry or happy. Really advanced stuff there, and we know that these companies, they like to take off of these movies and make it a reality. So I do believe we're gonna see a lot of bank tellers removed, a lot of McDonald's workers, Burger King. All of these companies are going to use these technologies in order to create a larger profit margin without the help of us, without the need of us. We are simply going to be eating the food. We're not going to be we might even make it unless they make a technology, for example, like the Tesla bot. I can't wait to see that thing doing the dishes for my parents there. So
Yeah, and
you're
Tesla
saying
is
they're going to cost,
creating workers. Elon Musk is
yeah,
creating thousands of robot workers. And now just
yeah,
imagine, once you figure out how to get the cost down, you got workers now that can work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They do not need breaks. They do not need vacations. They do not get sick. It's going to change the game and there will be jobs lost. Now, some jobs will be
mhm,
created because there's going to have to be people to build the machines. There's going to have to be people to maintain the machines. There's going to have to be people to service the machines. So I think that's going to create a whole new world of jobs. But what about all the jobs that are going to be taken? People that, have families, kids, single moms, single dads that are supporting their families and they're going to lose their job because machines are going to take their job. What do you think about that?
possible in 15, possible in 15 or 20 years. I mean, in the last 10 years, we've seen an explosion in technology where when I was about 16 years old, we didn't have a cell phone. 15 years later, I can't find anybody without one. I can't order food without seeing 20 people looking at their phones. We're in a whole new world here, and it's going to expand even faster. And Elon Musk, he's building these robots because he doesn't want to send people to Mars. He wants to send the robots first to set up everything. And I believe just like the Hubble telescope, where the first time they ever created a telescope, it wasn't pointed in space, it was pointed back at Earth. So similar to these technologies, I believe they're already in play, military. They're already being tested worldwide in scenarios that we can't even imagine. Look at Boston Dynamics; they're in the lead there. I think Tesla can really speed up his Tesla bot there. And personally, if I was to go in that direction, I would go in the direction of Elon Musk. I'm not too familiar with the other CEOs. I don't really trust them. I do like Musk, however, because he's very worried about, for example, the three laws that they have in iRobot with Will Smith there. He's worried about something like this. He would like to introduce laws and regulations in AI before there's a problem. And Elon Musk says, if there's a problem in AI, sorry, it could be too late to introduce regulations and limits on the system. After, if we're going to wait till it makes the problem before we react, it's going to be too late. So Elon knows what he's talking about. He's been in that industry for a long time, and personally, at the same time, I'm excited. I'm kind of worried.
Yeah, I mean, I'm worried too because we don't know. Like we've always seen these movies, from back in the day that talk about how the machines are going to take over, and we're literally living in that era now where the machines have the
Mhm.
chance to take over. And I have a feeling it's going to happen. We have a comment from Rob. He says in the next 2 to 4 years, he thinks this is going to happen. He doesn't think it's going to take 15 to 20 years. He believes in the next 2 to 4 years, we're going to see the machines really start having a huge impact in society and maybe even take over. I mean, imagine if you can create an army of robots. How is that going to change
Mm.
war? Imagine if you could create an
This
army
don't
of
scare me.
workers. How's that going to change work? I mean, I
Unbelievable.
just feel like is going to be a day where you're going to go to a restaurant and it's not going to be a human serving you, it'll be a robot,
Yeah,
right? You're going to go to
I agree.
McDonald's, there won't be a human talking to you or serving you through the drive-through, it will be a robot,
Mhm.
right?
And you know what scares me is, I mean, all of these movies that we're watching about these androids and robots, have you noticed all the droids look exactly the same? Total Recall, Elysium. You've got so much movies there. I can't even name them all. There's so many movies, but the androids look exactly the same in every single movie. Now, are they going to look like that in real life? Only time will tell. However, I will say that Tesla bot, it looks friendly. You can't run as fast as you, can't move as fast as you. So if I was going to go in that route, I'm going Tesla bot. The fact that Elon Musk says you can overpower the Tesla bot. So there, that is my safety net right there.
So let's take a look at
The
Tesla.
other
Actually,
one,
now that you're talking about Tesla, I want to talk about Tesla because they're one of my favorite stocks to talk about. They're always one of the hottest, best looking stocks at all times that we're always looking at. They've been one of the top performers for a very long time. All right. So let's just pull up Tesla here. Okay, one second. Just gonna move the chat and we're gonna move.
we got something very cool to show you here on any Nasdaq company.
One
I'll
second
tell you
here.
what
Let
here.
me show you the chart. Here we go. Okay, so this is the chart of Tesla. So Tesla's been one of my top 10 picks for this month. It's done extremely well. But you can see Tesla actually hit a bottom of $101 in January. It's already doubled. It's at 193. Now, why is it doubling? Tesla also has an AI story, right? Tesla, Elon Musk in his last shareholder meeting said that they will have a chat GTP moment. And his chat GTP moment will be when 5 to 10 million cars start driving autonomously. Meaning, I can jump into my Tesla, tell my Tesla to take me to my son's soccer game, and it'll just drive. I won't have to steer. I won't have to do anything. I'll just give them the address and it'll go. That day is coming. That day is already here. It's already happening in many places. There's already autonomous vehicles being used as cab Uber drivers. Like this is happening and it's coming soon. So Tesla is working on their technology and Elon Musk is saying their chat GTP moment is coming. And look at the stock. It's up from $100 to almost $200 this year. It's already doubled this year, meaning investors are making money on Tesla again. So what do you think about
Yeah.
Tesla?
You know, I'm looking at the shares right now that Elon Musk himself is selling. All of the CEOs, the CFOs, chief accounting officers, the SVP Powertrain Energies, and even Kimball Musk from the Musk family himself last month sold $19 million worth of Tesla shares. Elon Musk alone, in the end of 2022, there in November, sold about $3 billion worth of his shares. And he's been doing that consistently. I don't know if it's, he took a break from April 2022 until November. He didn't sell anything, but in April alone, Elon Musk sold about $6 billion worth of his shares. So is he funding Twitter? Is he paying for it? What's going on with that? I don't know the inside, but I do know a lot of selling is happening. I even have the percentage rate of what Elon Musk is selling, and every time he sells $1 billion, that's only 1%. So a lot of money there. Is he going to be buying back in order to pump Tesla shares even higher in the future? I'm not sure, but if I see Tesla falling, most likely Elon Musk will buy some more because he's not only selling. There is a few buys here as well, but the main is selling. I was using OpenInsider.com, little website I like to use on Nasdaq there to see what the company insiders are doing within the company. That's how I like to make my purchases in the stock market on Nasdaq, is see what they're doing inside the company first before I make my move.
I think that it's really exciting that we have this new show. The show is called The Bull and Bear Show. We're talking about the AI bubble. The title is The Bull and Bear Show, AI Bubble Explained. If you haven't noticed, I've got a bull behind me here. I got a bear over there. I got another bear over here, as you guys can see. I got another bull over here. So we got bulls and bears everywhere, all the way around. Everywhere you look, you can see bulls and bears here. So we got lots of bulls and bears here. And you know, we started this show because I wanted to talk about what's bullish every week, what's bearish every week, what we're looking to invest in right now, what's hot right now, what's not right now. So, not just artificial intelligence, but overall, is there anything that you're investing in right now that you want to share with the public?
Personally, I'm in the crypto space and the stock market. I'm always trying to go ahead of everybody. I mean, I'm trying to figure out right now what's about to go after the tech bubble, what's going to explode. However, I can't really think of anything other than implode. I think everything might take a hit about halfway in the year. I'm currently invested in the tech that I bought in 2018 there when Trump was in president. Um, I am buying in my positions again, hoping to catch those on this new rally. I do have a lot of crypto since about, I think, 2017 there. I've been invested in XRP, XLM, XDC, and any ISO 20022 coins, which based on my research, the Federal Reserve and SWIFT are going to be adopting there. And I think they might just use those technologies in order to control the financial sector through NATO. Now, I mean, there was one company, there was a lot of scams. There was a lot of scams in 2018 before the SEC started clapping down on all these scammers there. But a lot of people got hit in 2018 there. And based on what the SEC is doing there with RippleNet, I'm not too sure that they're going to be sticking around much longer there, because the judge, Judge Lisa Torres, is saying that based on the events from the SEC chairman Gary Gensler, it's possible that the United Securities and Exchange Commission could get restructured this year. They're pushing all of the market for crypto out of the United States, and they're going into Singapore, they're going into the third world countries, and they're leaving the United States, which is not good for the American government, because, you know, America is mainly corporation owned. So if the corporations are leaving the United States, that's not good. So it's possible we could see a lot of changes this year, even the restructure of the SEC. So, I mean, a lot of things can happen. A lot of things can change overnight.
Well, what
Looks
I'm
like
doing right now is I'm actually showing you the price of Bitcoin, which just crossed over 27,000. You did touch on crypto. I'm a big holder of Bitcoin. Full disclosure, you could see a Bitcoin here. This is a Bitcoin, folks, but this is not actually Bitcoin. This is a model of a Bitcoin. Bitcoin is digital. You can't actually physically touch or hold Bitcoin. It's digital. It goes in a digital wallet. It's, in my opinion, the greatest investment times. When you compare it to gold, when you compare it to cash, fiat, when you compare it to any other investment on the planet, nothing has even
shit.
come
What
close
the
to
fuck?
the returns in Bitcoin. Nothing has even come close to the returns in Bitcoin. So, in my opinion, Bitcoin has been the single greatest investment of our lifetimes. In fact, Bitcoin is up billions of percent. That's right, billions of percent from its lowest level to its highest level. If you look at how much it's gone up, it's literally gone up billions of percent. So in my opinion, Bitcoin is the single greatest asset of our lifetimes. And I believe, full disclosure, I own Bitcoin and I own Ethereum. I'm not telling you to buy Bitcoin or buy Ethereum, but I believe everyone, in my opinion, should own some Bitcoin and should own an Ethereum. If you can own at least one Bitcoin and one Ethereum, I think that's going to set you up for a lot of success in the future. So that's my opinion regarding Bitcoin. All right. So love to know what you guys think. Do you guys own Bitcoin? Do you guys want to own Bitcoin? Are you guys thinking about getting into Bitcoin? I think that artificial intelligence and you think about intelligent investments, Bitcoin has been the single greatest technology breakthrough of our lifetimes and will continue, in my opinion, to make people rich and give people financial freedom that is just unimaginable. Just in the last week, we could talk about, I don't know what happened. I think he's having some technical difficulties. Just over the last little while, we have seen what has happened with Bitcoin and how the market has been extremely volatile, has gone through ups and downs. You know, gold's been doing pretty good, been going through ups and downs, but Bitcoin this year is up like 80%. Bitcoin this year is up 80%. And if you look at the history of Bitcoin, you will see that Bitcoin goes up for 3 years, down for 1 year. Well, last year, Bitcoin was down. Previous to that, it was up for 3 years. And in 2021, it hit its all-time high of 69,000 US for one. Today, we sit at 27,000 for one Bitcoin. In my opinion, we are going to see Bitcoin go much, much, much higher, okay? We're going to see Bitcoin go much, much, much higher. My prediction is that we will see a $1 million Bitcoin by 2030. My prediction, and I'm putting it out there, I'm putting my name on it, is that we will see a $1 million Bitcoin by 2030. So last year, Bitcoin had a rough year. It went down, and it typically goes up for 3 years and then down 70%. And that's what happened last year. What's happened this year? Bitcoin's up 60 to 80% this year. So what's going to happen next year? Well, Bitcoin has a halving event, which happens every 4 years. And historically, Bitcoin starts its ascend up the year before its halving. Well, the halving is happening in March of 2024. We are in now the end of May 2023. So I believe we're going to see Bitcoin continue to show strength this year. Might around this level, might go a little higher, might go a little lower, but we're going to finish up this year. And then we're going to be even higher next year as Bitcoin does its halving, which will be a big catalyst. But I believe we're going to see Bitcoin hit its all-time highs in 2025, following the same cycle we just had where we saw Bitcoin hit 69,000 in November of 2021. So if you follow the same pattern every 4 years, we should see another all-time high in the fall of 2025. Now, how high will it go? I don't know. I can't predict that. What I can estimate is that I can estimate that it'll probably go to, in my opinion, at least 100,000. I believe it could go to 200,000. I believe we could even maybe see it go to 250, maybe even 300,000, depending on how hot it gets and how much momentum comes into it. But I believe at the bare minimum, in 2025, in the fall of 2025, we're going to see Bitcoin go to at least 100,000. Now, will it stay there? Historically, the answer is no. Historically, after going up 3 years, Bitcoin will retrace 70%. So I believe we're going to see an all-time high in 2025, followed by a large retrace down in 2026, which will most likely be another buying opportunity. So my strategy is this, and you can ask OpenAI and artificial intelligence if they agree. I mean, that might ask ChatGPT if they agree with this idea. My strategy is this. If Bitcoin hits its all-time highs in 2025, I will be definitely taking profits. If it hits 100,000 or higher, I will definitely be thinking about taking my profits and selling my Bitcoin. Then in 2026, if it drops 50, 60, 70%, I will then be looking to buy it again. And then follow the exact same strategy of waiting for it to back up until 2029, at which point in time I would then sell it again, and then wait for it in 2030 to back down, where I would just buy it again. That is literally my strategy of Bitcoin for the next 5 to 10 years based on historical patterns and its growth model. This might work, it might not, and I might change my strategy. But that's my plan right now. Love to know what you guys think, but that's my strategy with Bitcoin. And like I said, it's just broken. Let's take a look at the price of Bitcoin here. All right, so we're going to look at the price of Bitcoin here. Tentative debt. Rob says tentative debt ceiling deal headline just announced. What did I say? I said there will be no default on the debt ceiling. I said there is literally a 0% chance of a default on the debt ceiling. And I just don't see how you default on something that you can just print. So look at Bitcoin now. It is absolutely ripping. We're at 27,100, and this makes me smile, folks, because it was at 26,000 when we went live, and it just started to scream while we were live. It's like they are listening. Now at 27,140 and absolutely screaming while we were live, Bitcoin's making its move. And there's so many reasons why this is happening, but my number one reason is the Bitcoin halving. The Bitcoin halving event has always been historically one of the biggest catalysts for Bitcoin. And we're now, 10 months away? Right? almost 9 months away from the next Bitcoin halving. So every month that passes gets us closer to the next Bitcoin halving, which has typically been a huge boom for the price of Bitcoin. Okay. And as you can see, while we are live, the price of Bitcoin is climbing. And you can go and ask ChatGPT this yourself. But the reality is, Bitcoin is next level, and ChatGPT is a game changer. As oh, there he is, Market Maverick. He's back. You're back. I thought I saw you. Market Maverick. I'll wait for him to come back into the room here. So you can see the price of Bitcoin really making a move. But you can even go and ask ChatGPT. Go and ask ChatGPT. Will continue to go higher. See what ChatGPT says. That's the beauty of technology. Now we literally have artificial intelligence, and we can talk. We can talk to our artificial intelligence, its opinion. Go to ChatGPT on OpenAI, opinion on Bitcoin, and say, "Hey, ChatGPT, what do you think? Do you think the price of Bitcoin is going to go higher?" And literally, it will tell us what it thinks. That's the beauty of it. It's not always going to give you an answer, but it is it's very innovative technology, and used properly, it can be an absolute game changer. So be careful, use it wisely, use it properly. Be very, very careful with ChatGPT, please. Okay? Use it wisely. But my opinion is it is great used wisely as a tool. And I'll give you an example. So I was thinking about coming up with a new name for a show. And I was like, I don't know what to call the show, but I definitely want to come up with a new name with the show. So then I went on to OpenAI. I went to OpenAI's website. I went to ChatGPT and I asked, what would be a good name for a stock show? What would be a good name for an investing show? And it came up with all these different names. It came up with 30 different names. I did 3 different searches. It came up with 30 different names. One of those names was the Bull and Bear Show. Thus, ChatGPT and artificial intelligence helped us come up with the name for this show. So that's just a great example of how ChatGPT and artificial intelligence can really help you in today. And what I want you to do is every single Saturday, put it on your radar, put it on your watch list, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be doing the Bull and Bear Show. I know it's the first show, so we've had some technical difficulties. Hopefully we can work through that. But what we want to be able to do is we want to talk about trending topics on the show. We want to talk about what's hot, what's in a bull market, what's in a bear market, and why, and have intelligent conversations with lots of different guests from all over the world. That's the plan here on the show. And hopefully make it interactive where members of the audience can get involved, ask questions, we can answer questions, and make this an engaging show that people can really count on every single Saturday, 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern, where we can talk about the most trending topics in the world. Right now, there is nothing more trending than artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is by far the hottest sector in the world right now, okay? And if you're looking for hot topics, if you're looking for hot stocks, all you got to do is go and subscribe to Rich TV Live, where we're going to be able to give you guys consistent news and analysis on the most and the hottest trending stocks, the hottest and most interesting cryptos, the hottest and most interesting NFTs, and so much more. Thank you guys for watching. If you're not winning, you're probably not watching. We bring in the winners, we bring in the news, we bring in the analysis, CEO interviews, chart analysis, guests, and we like to bring it to you first. And we had to talk to you guys about artificial intelligence because it is the hottest sector in the world. Rob, love you too, brother. And Chat GTP. Oh, Chat GPT? Chat GPT. Yeah, you're right. I keep saying GTP. Chat GPT. Chat GPT. Okay, Chat GPT. Chat GPT. I appreciate you, Rob. Thank you so much for following and being a subscriber, being a follower. It means a lot, brother. And I hope you enjoyed the show. And hopefully we can do a lot more of these. Our plan is to do this every single Saturday for an hour, bring on different guests. Rob, I'd love for you to come on the show. Maybe you can come on the show as well. But my top artificial intelligence stocks right now, AI, Tesla, Microsoft, NVIDIA, UPST, AMD. I didn't even look at AMD. Let's just quickly look at AMD. Let's quickly look at AMD here. I'm a big fan of AMD, Advanced Micro Devices, and it's also been absolutely ripping. Just look at AMD in the last month. It's gone from, look at this. It's gone from $81 to $127 in the last month. In the last 3 months, gone from $76 to $127, and in the last 6 months, from $60 to $127. It has doubled in the last 6 months. This is what we call a hot market. Some of us would call this a bubble. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you to start buying these stocks, but definitely I want you to look at them, put them on your radar, put them on your watch list. I think the upside is absolutely tremendous. This is AMD, another one that I think everyone should be aware of when it comes to artificial intelligence. If you're looking for AI stocks, AMD, NVIDIA, UPST, AI, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Apple. These are the stocks that I believe are the leaders of the AI bubble right now, which I don't know when it's going to burst. It could run for another week. It could run for another month. It could run for another year. But what we're going to do is we're going to be sitting here. We're going to talk about it. Okay? Thank you for watching. I'm your host of the most, your boy Rich from Rich TV Live. Thank you to the Market Maverick for joining us. I know you've had some technical difficulties. It's okay. We'll get those fixed up. And for everybody else, have a happy Saturday. Have a great weekend. Have a fantastic long weekend for everyone in America. Happy long weekend, everybody. And thank you for watching. I'm your host of the most, your boy Rich from Rich TV Live. With the new show, The Bull and the Bear Show. Episode number 1. Thank you for watching, everybody. Have a great day. Enjoy your weekend. And I'm out. Peace.